This is a 2003 Sportster 1200 Custom Anniversary Edition. I just purchased it about a week ago from a lady in Panama City, Florida. She was no longer able to ride, and I purchased this as my first bike. Okay, everyone knows the nightmares of trying to put LED lights on your bike. I think I found that out thinking it was just like a vehicle and you can just plug it in and everything would work. Well, I plugged in my two front markers, my blinkers in the front. I switched them over, took the bulbs out, plug and play, put LED ones in, and tested them out. I'm like, yeah, it works great. Headlight obviously worked fine because it's got its own resistor in there. And I'm like, okay, good. Get to the back ones. And I'm like, okay, the back one's not working. I plug in both of them. I get both of them, and I get the right side to light up and the left side not to light up. I get my little test light, test it. Okay, I'm not getting no voltage. Why ain't I getting no voltage? And I put the light bulb back in it. Light bulb works because it's an incandescent light bulb. These little bulbs that you pull out. Well, finding out that these bikes are not made to pretty much put an LED light in there because of the flasher modules and how the wiring's set up, that you have to have either a load balancer or some type of relay, and trying to figure out which one I need. So, and then find out that if you do install some of these, that they get so extremely hot, and if you forget to turn your blinker off or have your four-ways on, that it'll pretty much die and melt and short out. So, except for the one balancer that I have purchased that seems like to be recommended by everybody, which is the Badlands load resistor. Kind of hit or miss. Somebody says it didn't work for an 03, but I think they had the Nightster or something, or I don't know. It's probably hit or miss. So I'm going to get it in on Monday, and we're going to test that out. Plus, I have one more light. Got to replace the tail light with an LED. So make sure I have LEDs running across board, so it's not, I guess, really confusing to the electronic module or the computer module or whatever for the bikes. So it can actually talk and communicate, since these things pull like so much wattage and the LEDs don't. But we will go from there. So the saddlebags are kind of old, and the buckles, plastic buckles, sun fade and dry out and crack, and then the little prongs break off. But I'm not going to sit there and try to pull out rivets and replace these. So what I did is I bought through REI, through Camping World, they have pin ones. So you can actually buy the buckles, and then you can literally cut off the old buckles, which I'm just taking a pair of snips, and literally I cut off the plastic, slide it out of the buckle, so I don't have to deal with breaking any rivets that are already there. And then all I'm going to do is put them in, slide the bolt through, and then hook them up. It's a quick fix. And after they're installed, you have the pins screwed in through the buckle, both ends. You don't have to worry about pulling out rivets. And then it just clicks in just like the old one. And now we have a brand new buckle that slides in real easy. All four of the dry rotted buckles have been replaced. Some new buckles with the pins in them that get screwed in. All right, some more on the lighting. I have gotten my tail light. It's just the aftermarket one on Amazon that was supposed to be plug and play. You would just unplug the wire on the back, right here, unplug it, and plug the other in. Or they had another adapter where you literally kept this one plugged in, and you unplug the light bulb, and you literally plugged it into the light bulb like you do the LED ones. Well, this one didn't come that way. It was missing the adapter harnesses. So I unplugged it, cut off the incandescent ones, and heat shrinked them together, and I'm going to install it that way. Additionally, with this light, it didn't come with the additional harness. It's also, the LEDs are like I guess this is the top side. So license plate ones are like falling off. So I'm gonna get my hot glue gun out and I'm gonna try to re-glue it and maybe put some dielectric grease on some of these because it's like all exposed and open. I mean, yeah, you put that little foam piece in there to stop some moisture, I guess, getting in rain, but I don't know. I really don't like those things just being like wide open like that and not encased. So now I hot glued that bottom board back down and I gunked up the board with some dielectric grease and try to protect the cheaply made aftermarket light just because it's smoke and it looks pretty. We'll see how long this lasts. So we got the tail light wired in and she works. White lights on top. All the red ones work. Fence third and brake. Brakes work. Now we just got to figure out the other LED. Got the Badlands module in, but I had this Y connector in here connected to both the left and right. It was actually connected like that with this Y one. I don't know if this is another aftermarket one. I don't have my service manual yet, so I just kind of connected them all in a series. I do have blinkers now instead of having a solid light saying it was a dead. So I got a front blinker and a right and a back blinker here going on the right side. The left side, the blinkers work on the front and the blinker works on the back if it's the incandescent. But as soon as I take out the incandescent bulb, a little warm, and plug in this one, and I know the light's good because I tested this light on the other side and it worked. And I don't have no voltage, no lighting, no nothing. Check the wiring going into here because this side's I guess the end side. So the wiring comes in on the right side, goes in through the tail light. Tail light feeds the more power and it goes back out and goes out to this tail light. So this side's the last spot for lighting. But when we put the LED side in there, the LED side, we have nothing. No lights, no turn signals, no nothing. Before we had the Badlands, we had no flashing at all. It was basically saying we had a dead bulb. It didn't have enough of the voltage going to it, dead bulb. So it fixed my flashing, so I'm able to have my blinkers, but I don't have any light or any blinkers on the back side on the left, unless I put an incandescent bulb in, and then it works perfectly fine. So one more troubleshooting step to try to figure out the last little bit of the lighting, and I'll go through and try to figure that out. Alright, so now I took that other Y, went out and just hooked the Badlands in there, turn the lights on. Looks like I'm getting my headlights, running lights in the front. I'm getting my tail light, but I'm not getting any running lights or any lights. Okay, so I hooked it back up in a series, but I hooked it the other way. So I started with the load balancer on this side of the harness instead of this original one, and I hooked it the other way to see if there's any difference. It didn't really make a difference. I still have, as soon as I turn my bike on, I still have front headlights, running lights, tail light, and back running light. Obviously, there's still nothing with the LED. I don't get anything with the LED. Incandescent bulb, I will have my running light turned on with the incandescent bulb. That's only if I have that in. But the LED, there's still nothing. all right, we got everything fixed now on my bike. So I called Badlands to find out if this had to be hooked in line with it or if I had to remove it. This is an actual Harley-Davidson adapter. Didn't know what it was. This adapter allows your rear blinkers, your rear turn signals, to stay on, just like running lights, like up in the front. So they said hook their adapter into the main harness, attach the Harley-Davidson converter, and then plug it straight into the rear harness. And I just strapped it down here, and then all I do is go like this and tuck everything up underneath, and then put my seat up on it, and it tucks up all up underneath there. And then that's that fixed. The problem I was having earlier was I put the Badlands in. I was having dead turn signals, and it made everything work. So I had my front blink, and my back was blinking, and my taillight was working. But this one over here was dead. It wasn't getting anything. I was thinking, okay, well, maybe not enough resistance. I don't know. It was the last run in the wiring. But when I was using my test light, so you have your rear harness comes out through here. So you got your different colored wires. The purple, I think, was left, and then the brown was right turn signal, and then blue, I think, was brake or something like that, and whatever. But I was getting power coming to this one. Unplug this one. This one goes to the right turn signals. Unplug this one. I was getting power out of the right prong on there, so which is the purple wire. So yes, I was getting power to that one. This one, I was getting power out of the right prong. Okay, same as this one. But these two wires, the purple and the black one, were reversed in this little connector. It doesn't really matter for an incandescent light, as long as it's getting some type of power going through, like closing the circuit. But I guess with an LED light, it's different or something. I don't know. But so I literally switched these wires and put the purple one on the power wire like it's supposed to be, and the black one on the neutral, and voila, I got this one to work. So that was what the problem was with this one. So basically I just refixed, I don't know, they had their wires backwards. My tail light, I had to heat sink and connect wires from the plug, because I wanted to keep the plug, because I don't want to just wire into it, and so I wanted to keep the plug. So I cut the old light off, the old incandescent light off, and then we basically connected the wires up, and so I can have my taillight, and my taillight works. So we got everything up and running. So the Badlands load resistors in. We got front lights and running lights, my headlights, and we got my back lights, tail lights, and it's working. So everything is working. We got my right blinker. Let's see if we can get that. Yep, right blinker's working in the front. Right blinker's working in the back. And voila, left blinker's working. And left blinker's working. So we now have LED lights throughout my whole bike, and everything is functioning properly.